So I'm picking up again with the 350Z build. The last thing obviously I did was weld the diff up. And now the next thing I want to be doing is taking this, which if you've got a Z you're going to know what that is. I'm not going to show you taking that out because there's loads of videos on how to remove this. But we're turning this into like a flat panel. This will just be flush, this will be flush, and we're going to put in some gauges to keep an eye on water temperature and oil temperature. So I've got a couple of them, so they're going to go like somewhere here. So say oil, water, air fuel ratio, and then down on this piece I'm going to put a load of switches for things like a fan for the oil cooler and just a few other bits, whatever I can think that I would want on an isolator switch. I can just put them all in there, and I don't really want the stereo in there anymore. There's no point because it's noisy, it's not a nice ride anymore, so I'm not too fussed about having the stereo. So I'm binning all that off. You've seen this where I haven't actually started or figured out how I'm going to do it yet. I've got a few methods I'm going to try. I've got like fiberglass matting, so whether I take a mould of this piece, which is the thingy door, and then that fits in there, or whether what I was thinking was doing maybe was using like I've made a mould of that and using like a bit of a skeleton behind it, and then sticking the mat on like that, or I'm not really sure. Like I say, I'm going to figure it out, and then you'll see the method that works. The first thing I'm going to do is like rub all these edges down, because they're going to be what the fiberglass and the resin's going to have to stick to. So I'm just going to a 150 grit and just sand all them. So what I've done is got this piece cut onto the back, so I've got it all around like all these little lugs and stuff. I'm going to put some of the resin, I'm going to mix some resin up, put it on this part here, stick it down, and then resin this piece so that goes hard, and leave this middle section just for now until I can then once that's gone off a bit, it will stay still. I can then resin the middle and use that template I made just to push along it and keep it while it goes off, to try and keep that shape. Well, basically it didn't end up going as I hoped the first way I tried. What I did was make this, which is a mould from the old cubby hole. I didn't put any release agent on this, I literally just laid it on, and before it went off I just pulled it off, and like there's just a bit of sticky stuff on there, but it came off in one piece. And then I've put a load of tabs on the back side of this, just stuck them on, and then this is ready then to just lay inside. Okay, it's that way. What I can do then is cut some more layers like this and just lay them, build up the layers till it's nearly flush. Probably going to go over it with some of that fiberglass filler just to make it smooth, and then you literally just keep rubbing until it's nice and flat. So that's like the first base piece in that's all shaped. I've put a load of tabs on the back, so that's all glued up on the bits that are sanded down, so it shouldn't actually go anywhere. Now I'm just going to put 2 more of these in that I've cut. So lay them in, and they'll be just below the surface, and then what I'm going to do is sand all this around here, and then using some fiberglass filler stuff, make like a bit of a template out of card, and then I can just pull it along, and that'll leave the shape of this because it's like double curved. When I come sand it, if I just do it nicely, it should keep that shape perfectly and not look too messy or too much like it has been filled in. So that's like my first, well, that's the second coat now, just going off. I built it up over like 4 layers or so. So now I just need to make a template, smooth it. What I'm going to do while it's still wet is clean the back off and then fit it back in the car. And then because of how stiff it goes in the end, I don't want it to hold out of shape. So at least if I put it back in the car, the whole thing then will just stay in the shape it's supposed to. That's got like 1 layer of the fiberglass filler stuff, this stuff on, and then basically I've made this bit of a mould of the bottom piece here. So I'm going to just tack it in place, mix some resin up in the cup, and just tack this in, pack it off as close as I can to the front, so then maybe just like 2 more layers of the fiberglass I can just then stick on, keep just below the surface, and then when I put a fine layer of the fiberglass filler over, then I can just sand the whole thing, smooth it all. I can either wrap the whole thing or paint it. I've still not actually decided what I'm going to do with it yet, so just going to crack on with that. So now I'm just going to use some of this normal filler just to put a thin skim over that, and that's the thing that I can then just sand down and make super smooth. Right, this is the last stage now of filler to be sanded. So everything's done, all the holes. Jamie's just turned up to help me do fiberglassing, filling, sanding. You're about 5 hours too late, mate. No. Go on.
Just in time. What I've done is I've fiberglassed all this now. It looked like Sean was doing it, but I was actually doing it.
Oh. And what else did you do?
Well, I've skimmed it with a fiberglass filler.
Yeah.
Just waiting for this to dry. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sand all that down.
Yeah, nice and smooth.
And then we're going to block it.
Yeah, but you need to paint it because you're a resident painter, in-house painter.
Oh, yeah. I've got my breathing apparatus for it. So.
What I found to keep the best shape is use something fairly small, like this, because then you're not putting big flat areas, and then just you take that. I'm demoing.
DMO.
Do angle first like that, all the way like that. Then do that angle. Then do up. Then do across. And then by doing that, that's how I've managed to keep the shape, so it just follows it like factory. So yeah, Jamie's going to finish the work he's done so far. Then
I'm going to collect the tab.
Prime it. Paint it, flock it. Where's my block? The Sandman says 80 grit, although we started with 40.
Oh, bless. So is this a finishing sand for you, or is it?
No.
Are you going a higher grade after this?
Yeah, we're going to go.
Sandy
150.
Wiggins has got a drinking problem.
150, 400. Prime it, 600. Paint it, flock it.
Are you intoxicated right now?
Well, I just came back from Portugal because they were offering free hair transplants.
Okay.
It was really cheap though. I don't know if you can tell, but...
No, mate, that is
I
seamless.
said, just do what you want, mate. And he says, oh, Will, some bloke from the 80s has just come in and he's offered all his hair.
You can't even tell. You can't even see the join.
No. That's what I asked for. That's what you get when you pay 300 quid, including flights and transfers. We bought the wigs, we bought the spandex, we're wearing it.
Have you got spandex?
Yeah. Mate, I'm wearing it.
Sandy Wiggins has left the building, but I think he's gone to find Sean actually. I just missed him.
It was...
Sandy's just been here.
I've just been to the loo.
Yeah, Sandy's just been. He's just done a bit for you.
Oh, the Sandman.
Yeah, Sandy Wiggins.
Someone just had Duran Duran Girls on Film playing. I don't know who had that on. You reckon that was the Sandman?
Yeah. It's his theme tune.
Is it?
Yeah, it's his entrance music. Like a boxer.
You gonna help me wire all this in? Huh? Just the Sandman?
He's not here, mate. He's gone.
Oh, right. I thought he was still there. I've put a layer of primer on this now, so at least it's not dusty and while I'm dealing with it. And I'm going to now mark up along here where I want my gauges, and then along here where I want my switches, and I can drill all that and drill them, and then do some final wet flat all this, and then put another couple of coats of primer on. Right, the last thing, I've just put some, the reason it's yellow is because I've put some high build primer on it just to fill any of these little tiny like pinholes in. And then I've marked out the 5 switches here, so I'm going to drill them out, and then that's it, ready just for a wet flat, bit of primer and then some paint on it. So I've pretty much finished it now, bar obviously fitting all the switches, all the gauges into it, and just giving it a buff up. And like because I've done it like with spray gloss black, but it's gone, it needs like wet flatting back and then another couple of coats putting on it. So I'm going to do that, but leave that to harden a bit. I think because of I use high build primer and then normal primer, and I think because it's quite cold as well at the moment in the garage, it's not fully curing. So I think I need to leave that for like a few days, and then I can flat it back and then give it some final blast with the gloss black paint, and then I'll look at doing the bottom piece as well in the same, so it all just flows down as one whole piece. And then yeah, that's it. So hopefully that was helpful, and you can now make your own custom centre dash.